The ways where those are really different is like a woman who is independent
Yeah.
and does a lot to be successful and has a lot of money.
Sure.
The only people who care are our friends and family.
Yeah. Isn't that unfortunate?
No one else cares.
Right.
The real world doesn't care.
No. Whenever you walk into the mall, nobody asks.
No one's gonna care.
You're right.
Your friends will like it. You like it. Your family will like it. No one.
Because they reap the benefit, though.
When a man has a lot of money and successful,
Mm-hmm. Even less people care, to be honest with you.
I would. Well, for example, women care. For example.
Sure.
Well,
Perhaps.
well, women definitely care.
I think a certain type of woman would only care.
No.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. No.
Huh. Do you think that that's changed based off how they're raised?
No.
Not even?
No. It's like no. Like that's like this issue that I have is that like we just try to like conflate all of these things as the same. Like
Yeah.
what a woman is attracted to in a man is what a man is attracted to in a woman. What a woman is being successful with a lot of money is like what a man is being successful with a lot of money. It's not the same. What attracts you to a woman is not the same as what attracts a woman to a man.
Okay, yeah, no, I definitely agree.
And you know, in reality, there's only like 3 or 4 things that like attract a man to a woman, or a woman to what attracts a man to a woman.
Okay.
It's only like 4 things. For example, right? Like that's why this is pretty high level. That's why we have this feeling about like loyalty and not like sleeping with a bunch of men.
Sure.
One of the main reasons why that it is, and people don't know that, is because since we only ask for a couple things, that one thing has a lot more value.
Yeah.
A man only asks for a couple things from a woman, like, you know, we would like you to be attractive. You know, we'd like you to be loyal and not be with a bunch of other men.
I agree.
Really, that's kind of it.
Well, honesty is up there, too. I don't want you to lie to me because...
That's basically loyalty.
Okay, sure.
Really, just the point I'm making is really it's like those 2 things, more or less.
Sure.
So if one of those is missing, it's huge.
Yeah.
That's why...
That is true.
Yeah, I know. So
agree.
that's why I think men have this such, like, whatever feeling towards women who are, like, get with a bunch of men.
Yeah.
Because we're only asking for, like, 2 things. If you can't do that, then, like, oh my goodness gracious, you know? Women are asking for like more than 2 things.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta be rich. You gotta be.
Well, even not rich, but like whatever. You gotta have a future.
At least a drive.
You gotta a future, which is drive. You gotta have a future. You gotta be smart. I'd love you to be attractive as well.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're good with money, that's a good thing.
A bunch of things. That's for a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So that's where it's different. But then back to where I was going was like. Yeah, if a man works really hard to get a bunch of money, you know, other than just his friends and family benefiting from him, or from caring and having benefit from it, also it gets a lot of attention from women.
Yeah.
If a woman is successful with a bunch of money, not a bunch of men are going to look at her and it matter much. The same that a woman does.
Sure.
For the man.
Because a man should normally have his own drive towards his own future.
Yeah.
So, like a man would get with a rich woman just because, let me mooch off of her. Because a man wants to provide for himself too. Right?
I wouldn't even say that. I also think this is subconscious and people know it but don't know it. It's just, it's just like the opposite of, like that's like being like a man. If you're a woman who has a bunch of money and is extremely focused on success,
then the masculine trait is in her.
Yeah, you're like a man almost.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you don't look like one, but like you have the same mentality as one. And yeah, it's very masculine. So that's why I think them not knowing, like they aren't even thinking that much about it. Like it just doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
Because they don't see it as something feminine that attracts us to a woman.
Right. So then with the values in a wealthy woman finding, well, you would like to be equally yoked, so I'm sure that... Well, equally yoked, like the same values and things like that. Like, I don't think that a wealthy woman would get with a underqualified man.
Yeah, apparently it's called hypergamy, is actually the word.
Hypergamy?
Yeah. and it basically means, women date across the hierarchy. Yep, they either date across the hierarchy or above.
Yeah.
And I guess, I learned this from Jordan Peterson. And I guess, for example, like monkeys are not that way.
Right.
A woman monkey will have children with whatever kind of monkey. It doesn't have to be,
Sure. That's interesting.
So women are hypergamous or whatever, but.
Okay. So a woman's hypergamous, but a man may not be. We're willing to stoop to a lower level because if she has those two things that you named,
exactly,
then it's wraps, scoop.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, all we really value. Anything else is just like, little sugar on top.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
So motivations and stuff like that can come based off of how the woman is in her relationship, and then the man kind of has to either follow that or keep up. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I think that's one way why I think a man's life could be harder because he.
One reason.
Well, because his value is directly linked to that. Her value is not.
Right.
Maybe to her friends and family, but
sure.
No one else is really going to care.
Sure.
No,
I agree.
A man's value isn't isn't linked to his friends and family.
Right.
It's linked to the real world, and I feel like the real world is a lot of the real world has to do with the opposite sex. That's what I think. I mean, you could probably say the same for both, but I feel like a woman's value, I think at one point is directly linked to the type of man that she's with.
Yeah.
If you're a whatever type of woman, successful, independent, bunch of money, or very beautiful, whatever type of woman you are, if you're with a man who is, at a lower status in the hierarchy, people are just going to see that. Yeah. They're not going to look at you and be like, oh, well, she's successful, but a man's not. They're just going to say, oh, well, she's with a man who's, kind of a loser, so she's kind of a loser too.
Sheesh.
So
expectations.
So that's why I think it's like, and that's how the real world is going to see that woman.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's like pretty directly related to like the opposite sex.
Right. Well, I just said the word expectations because if the expectation would be, if she is successful on her own, her friends and family would expect her to be with a man, what would you say that word was with the H?
Hypergamy?
Hypergamy?
Yeah.
So what would you say hypergamous? Right?
Probably, yeah.
Right? So her friends and family would expect her to be hypergamous by finding a man that I call equally yoked, and they're on the same level. Either gain, drive, success, things of the nature.
Yeah, I mean...
So I think, in a way, though, wouldn't the woman, if she is on that level, she'd be judged even more so?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Honestly, I would imagine that, a woman like that will actually repel a lot of men who are higher on the status hierarchy.
Well, I'm sure, because I would like to believe personally that if they are with anybody, then at least their vocabulary and everything else is up there. She wouldn't sit down with somebody that's an undergrad and all these other things of a lower status just because what are they going to talk about?
That's a good point.
Well, what do we have in common? What are your goals and successes and dreams? I've already made mine. She pulls up in a Porsche. She lives in this 7-bedroom house. All these things, and then what? He's just going to mooch, or he's going to have to catch up.
I mean, I feel like it's not really the woman's choice when we get to that level of like women get to choose who gets that. Like, women are the gatekeepers to sex. Like, they get to choose what man has sex with them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the man gets to choose which girl he makes his wife or his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, so I think, when a man's looking at a girl, maybe successful, and we're kind of talking about too, like, this is what I think, like, the last thing he wants to see, even though he doesn't know it, is a girl that reminds him of himself. AKA masculine traits.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to see a girl who's like him in the way that he is masculine.
Yeah.
I think that would repel him and be like, ugh, and I don't think he would know why.
Right. Well, I think it's also natural for a man to be attracted to a submissive being.
Yeah.
Submissive partner.
Yeah, and that's what I think it is. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't even think it's cognitive or conscious. I just think
Yeah.
something inside them says, like, what it says is, oh, well, she's kind of like me. Like, that's not hot. Like,
I agree.
I'm a dude with a bunch of
So
dudes.
now she's up here. She wears the pants in the relationship, if you will, and then I have to be the submissive one.
Well, I don't even think they think that. I don't even think they would think that hard about it.
Oh.
I don't think they'd look at it like that and be like, oh man, she's gonna be wearing the pants if I date her. That doesn't sound like too much fun. I don't think they think that much about
Yeah,
it.
it wouldn't go
Just
that deep.
intrinsically in the subconscious, there's like,
It would just naturally be repulsive.
it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
I work with that girl every day. Like,
Yeah.
I know who she's like, what she's like. You know?
Right.
Like, this is what the subconscious mind would be saying, I think.
And at a point, then your relationship becomes business, and then you're like, well, what's deeper than that? You know?
What, a business relationship?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a rhetorical question. What's deeper than that? Well, it would be, obviously you want a emotional connection. And if it's just business partners, then you don't have that. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think so.
you give men a lot of credit here. I don't think they think that deep either. Like, oh man, can I have emotional connection with this girl? Like, I don't think men think about that.
I do. Shit. If I can't have an emotional connection with her, then yeah, cool, we'll keep it at business, but I'm going home. And not your home, because I got my own home. Because I got my own drives and motives.
Yeah, I don't think most men probably think that deep into it.
Maybe, unless they're trying to mooch off the rich woman.
Well, I just meant I don't think many guys have got a girl and say, I wonder if I can connect emotionally to her. Like, I don't think many guys think that.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean,
I think everybody should think that.
Well, I think a guy.
What is a relationship if it's not?
Well, I think what a guy should think and probably does think, again, without even knowing it, is I can have an emotional connection with anyone. I don't have to think whether I can or not. I know I can. How can I not?
Sure.
I mean, that's what I imagine they would like. I don't think they think that. Like, that's what I feel like, in the subconscious mind, that's what the subconscious mind thinks when they see a girl. Like, I don't have to ask in my head if I can have an emotional connection. Of course I can. I can have an emotional connection with a tree. My dude.
Right. But what if they're hard on the inside and then they don't allow that emotional connection to even come out? And you don't find out till you're talking for 3 months or something and you don't know anything about her because she's always focused on her success and her business.
That's the point I'm making. Like, you're going way deep now. Like, I doubt a dude would look at a girl and say, I wonder if I could, but maybe she's had a lot of stuff where she's hard and closed off inside. Like, I don't think dudes think about that when they meet a girl.
Maybe not.
But I imagine they're thinking something optimistic, like, this is a great girl. If I want, I can connect to her emotionally, get to know her more.
Yeah.
Let's see if that's true or not. Now,
What
if she's hard on the inside? What if it's hard? What if I can't connect to her at all?
Because you go through that honeymoon phase with that connection in the beginning, and then all the optimistic thoughts are to the front of your head.
Well, I'm talking even before that, like when they first meet her.
Oh, when they first see her.
Yeah.
Across the hall.
Of course, after you get to know her, we'll have all these deep thoughts. But when I first see her, people aren't thinking that deep about it.
True. I don't know. I'd be jumping to conclusions anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You gotta be careful when you're dating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to know what you're getting into, because obviously you're going into everything with an optimistic outlook, a blind eye. You're willing to look the other direction if there is one small thing about this very attractive person you're attracted to. You're going to look away at anything that would maybe slightly repel you naturally.